Okay guys, so we've just played at Great Yarmouth and Caister in an event which we weren't actually prepared for.
We were definitely not prepared for that. It was good fun though.
It was.
So yeah, the Caister Pairs, which is we found out is a Pro-Am event with a pro prize, all the bells and whistles that go along with it.
So we thought we were turning up just to play a nice friendly round of golf.
Yes.
Which is exactly what we both needed today.
Yeah, definitely.
Just to chill out and play a round of golf. And Simon only brought left-handed clubs, so that was already putting the pressure on pro prize.
Yeah, definitely.
For him. So and I wasn't prepared after.
Well, we hadn't left enough time. If we'd have known, we'd have left an hour earlier, so you could have had a chip and a putt, and we could have had a preparation time. Literally walked straight on the tee, and I think you'll agree the first 3 holes you were getting used to the conditions of the greens, conditions of how hard and firm the golf course was, and you hadn't looked at a course map, you hadn't done any prep. So from a just going in and having a go point of view, it was quite interesting, wasn't it? And you did okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
Tell everyone what you did.
So I shot 4 over par 74, which wasn't horrendous. It was at times. There was a few holes. So I've made 2 double. 2 double? 1 double. 1 double.
1 double and 1 bogey, but a bogey where you nearly drove the green, so it felt like a double.
So it was tricky. Like, I'd never played the golf course before. Simon had played it before, so I got some inside information in terms of what Simon could remember from the golf course. But you've got to trust it. You've got to stand there and trust it when you don't know where you're going. And in terms of ball striking, I think I hit 1 bad iron shot throughout the day. Drove the ball nicely. Had a couple of 3 putts early on, but like hit the first putt a long way past after not obviously having to go on the putting green. And just adjusting early on, and then putted quite well coming in.
I thought you drove it really well today. Really, considering there was a couple of holes where you really didn't trust where we were saying to go, because on a true links course, which I think you call that a links course, it's certainly very blind tee shots. It's kind of dog legs, quite a lot of hills and bumps and stuff, and you have to know your way around there. Yeah,
and there was a couple of shots where I'm asking Simon, like, how far do I need to hit this? Where do I need to hit it? And it's then processing that information and getting to the point where actually I'm comfortable standing on the tee, hitting a shot.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think for yourself, there was a couple of times today where we played some holes last night, and Simon left-handed has just got a driver and stood at Bury, stood up and just hit it dead straight. Just didn't think about shapes of shots, didn't think about hazards, just stood in the middle of the tee box and whacked it. And we were having this discussion a minute ago. I think some of the time today Simon played the hole like he would have played it right-handed.
Thinking about it too much.
Thinking about a shape and a position where he wanted to be, rather than actually let's just get it down there as far as I can and sort of decide on what I'm going to do from that point.
Yeah, and I think that's learning. That's just learning experience, and it was really, for me personally, it was really good today to put myself under pressure. So I played with Darcy. I think she's 10, 11 years old. So I knew that it was going to be a struggle for us to get loads of points. So I knew I had to play well, which put me under loads of pressure. I haven't looked at the card, but I think I had 4 or 5 pars, which for 3 weeks in left-handed, I'm really happy with those pars. A couple of opportunities for birdie. I managed a chip in, which is definitely on my goals board. So I've done my chip in, so that's a tick. It wasn't on camera, unfortunately, because I hadn't seen you. That was my fault. It was kind of a bit of both of our faults. You had to go back to hit a second ball because I thought I'd seen it land, but I'd seen someone else's ball land and whatever.
So we got down on the par 5. I've hit a shot at the green. We get down there, and in a dip again, because we hadn't played the course, or Simon couldn't remember quite what was down there. I'd hit a shot that it would have come up probably 20-30 yards short of a par 5, and it's just a dip with just gorse in it
everywhere.
So we get down there and just nowhere to be seen. So I've gone back to hit another one. At that point, Simon's chipped in. I've not seen it. And also, I'm looking at Simon, and he's waving his arms about, and I'm thinking, oh, he's found my ball. This is right. And then I get back up there, he's like, no, I haven't found it.
Right confusion, but
it was funny.
It was funny, and again, the day was loads of fun. I know it was an important event, and I know whenever you tee it up in a professional event, you want to win, you want to hold your head up, and considering the conditions, so a golf course you haven't known, you didn't know it was a professional event, you're playing with Kelly, who is her first ever 18 holes of golf.
Yeah, and she did really well.
She did really well. And a junior who is going to go through highs and lows, because there's loads of emotions when you're that age.
Yeah.
Darcy hit some amazing golf shots.
Yeah, she did.
She's got a cracking little golf swing. She knows what she's doing. She's a proper golfer, but she's going to make mistakes, and she holds such high standards of herself, which is why she's going to do really well. But amongst all, by the way, I was playing left-handed as well, so amongst all of that, to shoot 74 with a double, with a bogey, is good going. Now, there was one highlight. There was a highlight. It was quite a big highlight.
Yeah, it was a big highlight. So I made an eagle on a par 4 today. So I've holed out from 115 yards.
Yes. And it was a proper hole out as well. It was bounced once, just past the pin, spun back, and dropped in a lovely dead weight. And it was brilliant.
And it was caught on camera.
It was caught on camera. Yeah. And
so.
And that doesn't happen every day, does it?
No. And it's one of those. It was nice. It was a proper goal shot, and I've been struggling at that distance as well. So it was nice to get the game into a place where actually I trusted gap wedge from that distance, and to put it in and hit that goal shot was nice, and obviously to see it fall in was a bonus. But it's one of those that actually to get the distance spot on was more the thing.
So let's just quickly talk about mental game, okay, for you today, because obviously. Project Left was quite good today, and it was quite good for me to play left-handed on a different course in some winning conditions. But actually, Project Win was kind of forced upon you today without realising. So I think the mental side of today is really important, because it kind of showcases when you're like all of a sudden under pressure.
Yeah.
So talk through your highs and lows about your mental game today.
So as soon as we got there, and knowing it was now a professional event, as we stood on the first tee, I got those feelings that I've been suffering with. It's that feeling of now it means something. Yeah. Now it's not social, it's not for fun. I can't afford to just skip a hole. Yeah. It's like write it down, give it in. Yeah. So was nervous off the first and hit a lovely shot, and unfortunately obviously hit it onto the bottom tier and 3-putted, and then straight away for me I feel under pressure now. I'm now over par, it's 1 hole in, I'm starting to battle straight away. Yeah. So it was one of those that I hit some shots, and I hit a shot towards the end where I hit 3-iron down, and it was like a 320 yard hole. I've hit 3-iron down, it's run right down the front into a massive swale, which I didn't know was there. Yeah.
But it was fine. It was in the middle of the fairway. It was just like 5 yards short of the green.
And I probably should have putted it up a very steep slope.
Yeah, because the pin was at the front.
But for me, I felt confident enough to try and pitch it into the bank, stun it, and have
let it release up.
Let it release up. And it went straight over the back, and then.
But I only went straight over the bank because it didn't pitch on the bank. It was just I
missed the bank. It hit it too high. I've missed the bank. It's then rolled off the back. I've got no choice but to chip it back on, and now I can't use the bank because it's covered in long grass. And then chipped it back off the front and into the swale again, and then knocked the putt up onto the front, and then hold the putt for a 5. Yeah. And yeah, I wasn't very happy.
Well, I think that just shows the highs and lows. I mean, we spoke about this over lunch, and yeah, maybe you should have putted the first one, and that's fine. And when it did go over the back, you only had the choice of the chip shot, and that was your only shot. And you know, you went to a pretty dark place at that point, but you gathered yourself. You putted it the second time, and then hold the putt from on the green. So if you'd have lost it at that point when you hit the second chip, and tried to do the same shot you did first time to prove a point to yourself, it would have been very easy to do that. Yeah. And potentially you could have then walked off with a 7. Yeah. But you didn't. You had the state of mind to go, no, I'm going to putt this. I probably should have putted it first time.
Yeah.
I'm not too proud to say, no, I'm going to prove to everyone that I can hit this wedge shot. You putted it, hold it for your 5, and that just kept you going. I know that was only one hole to go from that point. You hit a cracking 3 with down the next one, cracking long iron into it. It's a tough par 4, that 8th hole that we finished on, to about 8 feet or so, and it would have been lovely if the birdie putt went in, but these things happen. Not all putts go in, do they?
No.
So I thought that personally, maybe you should have putted the first one, and that was maybe
an error of judgment.
Just an error of judgment, and maybe another time you'll learn from that and you'll putt it and it would be something different. But the fact that you recovered well and then still made your bogey rather than having that double or that treble that really would have, really would have just blown everything up. At least it was only a bogey.
Yeah.
It shows that the mental side of stuff is really where your biggest gains, I think, are going to come.
Yeah.
Because you've got the shots. Okay, the stamina and the fitness is going to be a massive important part of it all, but I think the mental side of it is where you're going to really see some gains.
Yeah, and it's just a process. And we were talking as we were going around and on the way here that actually I've got a pre-shot routine, but it's not as standardised perhaps as it should be for the level I want to try and play to.
Yeah.
So then that's something, but that keeps me in check from that point of view. But ultimately it's about decision making while you're out there in terms of the lie and the shot in front of you. So it's one of those things, you live and you learn. It wasn't the worst day in the world. No. I've definitely played worse.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of those. Actually, 74 wasn't too bad.
No.
And it is what it is. And the good thing was that I didn't let the round get away from me, because actually I was 3 over par pretty early on.
Yeah, 3 or 4 holes, definitely.
So then I made a birdie on a par 5, and then obviously parred a few, and then made the eagle, which sort of kick-started things. Yeah. Unfortunately, made a bogey not long after that, but made a really good up and down on the par 4 after it.
Yeah, and hit par 3 after.
Hit it out the back, and had literally one spot to land it on, and played a lovely chip that rolled really out to literally like 2 feet. Yeah, so it was nice at that point. So there's lots of positives coming from 4 over, which ultimately in the grand scheme of things isn't too bad.
So what do you think of Caister, Yarmouth and Caister golf?
Yarmouth and Caister was a good test. It's a strange golf course because the racetrack runs straight through the middle of it, the horse racetrack. There's some holes where you have to play over and you're thinking, am I allowed to hit it on there? Do I get a drop? And at points you have to have a drop off of it. At other points you can play off of the race course. It's just it's confusing in that regard at times, but some lovely holes, and it really is a true link. So you've got lots of undulations and banks and swales that run it into bunkers and also run it away from trouble as well. So it was a good golf course. I enjoyed it.
Good event, and really nice of the guys at the Pairs to let me play left-handed and to let me just play in the amateur event. We were never going to win and we were never going to be part of it, but I felt like I was allowed in the event. I know there'll be plenty of events that we turn up to where I won't be allowed to, and I'll be a secondary and added person. But I felt like I was part of the event today, and that means a lot, to be honest, because I do think that playing left-handed is completely different, and my handicap has been got by my 3 cards. I think it's genuine. I was around about the 100 mark again today, which on a course that I don't know particularly well is a reflection of my ability at the moment. I do struggle a little bit with the whole amateur and professional divide. If I was a tennis coach at a club, I could still compete for the tennis team and then coach people afterwards. I understand how golf has got very strict lines, and a lot of that I'm really happy with. But in something like this, potentially it's a little bit different, and it was great that the guys said that I could play in the amateur
and he
event.
was very open. He just said, like, literally as soon as Simon explained what the situation was and what he was doing,
which I would have done before we got there if I'd known it was an event.
And he literally just went, yeah, that's fine. Like, he didn't even question it. So that was fantastic.
So thanks to the guys there, and thanks to you guys for watching. Hopefully that wasn't too boring us just chatting in the car on the way home. Hopefully gained a bit of an insight into Project Win and Project Left, which are both ongoing at the moment. We've got loads of great ideas for this.
Yeah, we're talking a lot on the way around, and Kelly has obviously added some bits to that as well, to try and push everything on and keep the content coming to you guys. So as always, thanks a lot for watching. If you'd like to hit the subscribe button, that would make our lives so much better.
Yes, definitely.
And also the bell icon, that will get you all of our updates and releases as soon as we put them out there.
Indeed. Right, let's get down this A11, let's get home, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye bye.
On the road again.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking around to this point. If you haven't subscribed, then you won't be in KO 10K.
Yeah, so we're going to be giving away prizes at various intervals between where we are now and 10,000 subscribers.
So if you haven't done it, get on it now.